All righty. Well, with that, I think we can move on to Sunday's games. We got that stuff going down tomorrow. So we're going to skip over 2 of the early games and go straight into the Broncos at the Cowboys. You got the 6-1 Cowboys. They should have their quarterback Dak back in there. And the line right now is Dallas -10 on ESPN here. The Broncos are okay.
Yeah,
or they were.
Yeah.
But I think that when you start to see them do things like at the trade deadline here, move Von Miller, I think it is an admission on their part that they are ready to look forward to next season.
Yeah, they're punting on the season by getting rid of Von.
They did the trade with my Vikings earlier in the week to get Stephen Weatherly, who is a backup defensive end who can step in and play some as a starter, but he's not the type of guy that you want in there full time by any means. But they had, they've got Chubb down and stuff like that. They've got other injuries going on. So it made sense for them to go out and get a Weatherly if they thought that, they need a guy that can come in and play a little bit here and there, but not to be the main guy, just to get them through a little bit of a tough time. But then to go ahead and trade away Von Miller, it's like,
yeah. So okay, that was a preemptive move because they were planning on getting rid of Miller. They needed a guy to fill in at a DN, stand up outside edge spot, and they get that guy so they can still play fucking football.
Yep.
Because they are missing Chubb. But this is a punt. The Broncos are done. Their season's over. They're almost admitting it right now.
It's a sign to everyone on the team has to know at this point, okay, now every other game that I'm playing this year is just to kind of press my resume a little bit.
Correct.
Because the team obviously has decided, hey, we ain't going to make it to the playoffs. We need to prep for the next season and start making moves. All right. As far as that Von Miller trade, I thought it was good for both sides.
Yeah. So the Cowboys, not the Cowboys, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my own shit over here.
The Broncos.
Yeah. Broncos gave up might be a Hall of Fame pass rusher. Not first ballot, not at this point. We'll see what he does with the Rams, but they get back a pretty substantial haul for a guy who is aging, who is on the last year of his contract, right? Last year of his contract, you're not typically going to get a lot because now the Rams are going to have to find a way to re-sign him.
Yeah. And
the Rams are perpetually in salary cap hell because
cap is
fuck them picks.
Cap is a myth.
It is.
But yeah, the Rams send over a second and a third round pick in the next year's draft, which is before the season, I could definitely see that for Von Miller, but during the season, that's actually a pretty good haul.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's a lot at the deadline. But at the deadline, you're typically seeing late round picks. You're not seeing a second and a third in next year's draft.
Yeah, but the Rams are saying, hey, we already have one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the, if not the best team in the NFC. Let's bolster ourselves for this run into the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So it makes sense for them to go after a high profile, a good player guy like Von Miller, and giving up that second and third, the way that their front office works.
Yeah, Les Snead does not give a fuck about his draft picks.
They're about it. And you know what? It's worked out for them.
It has.
For the most part, so you can't really knock it too much.
Well, take a known commodity versus the fucking crapshoot of the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the logic. It hurts you when you have to deal with salary cap. You're going to have a couple of fucking down years in the middle there. But if you're making a run for it, I mean, they already said they're making a run for it when they went out and got Stafford. By getting rid of Goff, they're like, we are fucking all in. We are trying to win a Super Bowl this year. And they fucking might. I'm interested to see the way they deploy Von Miller in this defense. I would love to see Von and
Aaron
Donald come off the same side because they play different.
I mean, how do you defend it?
You don't. You're going to put fucking – so you got a tackle who's got to block Aaron Donald one-on-one.
You're going to have
and a tight end.
The tackle, guard, tight end, and a back coming into chip.
Yeah.
You have 2 double-team scenarios on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
It's tough to defend.
It's absolutely tough to defend. And then I think they still have Fowler coming off the other side. This is a time I think Fowler, if he's still there, could absolutely eat. Because if you bring Vaughn and fucking Aaron Donald off the same side, Jesus Christ. Now, teams will start to move the pocket. That will only work for a week or two. But
Yeah, you got to. Let's see here. In their base 3-4, they got Ashawn Robinson on one side, Leonard Floyd's out there.
Floyd, that not
Aaron Donald, Greg Gaines. Yeah. And then Von Miller is going to be out there now too.
Yeah. So it was Floyd. I was thinking I had the wrong F. So
Fowler was there. He was there.
Fowler was there at one point. Now it's Floyd. Yep. But if you send those two off the same side, God, that other side could eat for days.
Yep.
So.
But as far as this game, I do have the Cowboys winning, not just because of fucking last week or anything like that, but because the Cowboys are one of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah,
they are an offensive powerhouse. They are getting their, quarterback back this week. And the Broncos have, like you said, they've basically kind of punted on the season a little bit. Like I said, Dallas -10 is the line right now. I think they can cover.
Yeah, so with the trade going down, I was kind of torn. I get Cowboys win regardless if Von Miller's there or not. With the trade of Von Miller, I have the Cowboys covering. I got 9.5 on mine. I don't know what you got on yours, or did you actually place?
I didn't actually bet it. I haven't actually put any bets in for tomorrow. I've been focused on the UFC.
Gotcha. All right.
But yeah. It's all these times that I'm talking about these lines and things like that, I'm just pulling it straight off ESPN because it's just the list of games and what they got on here. So where they're getting their numbers from, I'm not exactly positive. But as of right now, it's Dallas -10.
Yeah, so I have Dallas -9.5 on FanDuel. I am not sure what it is on Caesars because I have multiple sports books, so it's hard to keep all the numbers in order sometimes.
Yep. All right, next game. Dolphins Texans being played down in Miami, and the line is Miami -5.5, over under at 46.5.
I have the Texans winning outright. I think that the Miami Dolphins are hurting. It's
a battle of two 1-7 teams here.
But it's the failed trade or the change what happened with the Texans and all that other shit.
It is interesting, the Deshaun Watson situation. Now these two teams that were in that sphere of talking about the trades are now playing each other.
Yeah. It's a very, very weird dynamic. It's going to be a weird dynamic for quite some time until Deshaun's out of there.
And real quick on the Deshaun Watson thing. So the Texans apparently had that deal set up with the Dolphins. And the Dolphins ownership wanted basically some sort of safety net of Deshaun Watson's legal issues have to be figured out before we do this trade, which makes sense. It makes sense. And then the rumors or reports that I had heard was that Deshaun Watson is close to settling.
Yes. So, and this is where the dynamic gets real weird because Houston was ready to basically cut bait. Like, hey, we'll just fucking take him. Now they hear that Deshaun's about to settle all of his cases.
Like, whoa. We can get more for him now. Now we want extra.
They pull it back. They say we want more.
Yeah.
And that's why that trade falls through.
Yep.
So Miami was going to make that trade. They were. That was absolutely going to happen until Houston asked for more. So now Tua knows that he was gone. On a Miami team that's 1-7 has not played very good. Tyrod Taylor back for the Texans this week. I got the Texans.
This is actually a toss-up for me, honestly. I don't know who's going to win. I think with Tua in that whole situation that this ends up motivating him more. He actually has looked okay. He's looked a little bit better.
He is now missing Devontae Parker, who is now on the IR as well, though.
Okay.
So that fucking hurts my fantasy team.
Yeah, I thought you had him starting this week.
I did. He's not anymore.
Because we're playing each other.
We are. Yeah, so I figured we'd get to that towards the end.
Yeah. But I think Tua knowing that, hey, okay, my team that drafted me is ready to trade me. Now I have to not only be good at football in general, just because I'm a top pick, but I need to show out for whoever my next team might be.
Yeah, but he's not going to get to pick his next team.
Probably not.
He's not. I mean, he's going to be a part of a trade package somewhere.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be an NBA-style trade, 3-team trade. Somebody's getting Tua. Miami's getting fucking Deshaun. Can I have that? Thank you. I went out there to grab it, and I fucking forgot it.
Oh.
Get right to the ball.
But, yeah, I think that it could motivate Tua a little bit more to be like, okay, I want to make Miami feel a little foolish for thinking that they should get rid of me. I don't know that he has that in him to actually make them look foolish.
Think he does.
But I think that we could see a little uptick in his play, but that he might have that little bit of a chip on his shoulder now. But at the end of the day, like, it's just tough for me to pick one of these two teams. It's a toss-up for me. I'm probably leaning towards the Texans, but it's like I can make arguments for both teams here. It's tough.
Yeah, so with Terod coming back is the deciding factor for me. They didn't look terrible when Terod was playing. So
now I'll say I'm for sure taking the line on this one for the Texans, because with the line right now being Miami -5.5 and me thinking that it's going to be a toss-up
game, yeah. So
then I'm taking the line for the Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason not to, but I'm taking the Texans outright. I would say this is an upset, but then I look at their records and they're both 1-7. They're dog shit, and I'm starting to think that Miami may be looking for a new number one quarterback unless they make that trade for Deshaun. And also, this is a terrible year to need a fucking quarterback in college football.
Absolutely.